call to order the meeting of the Utilities Committee for December 16th. If we would, everyone please stand for the invocation and pledge. Be led by Mr. Randy Clua.
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this night. We thank you for this opportunity to try to work for the betterment of the people of Ascension Parish. Lord, we have special intentions tonight for the family of Mr. Herman Gautreaux, the family of Mr. Dennis Melanson, and the family of Mr. Gail Bro. And Lord, one last thing, we thank you for answering our prayers and bringing the members of the Louisiana National Guard 922nd Company home from Kuwait today, all happy and all safe. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Randy. If we would also want to offer a get well wishes to Ms. Carla Bourgeois, our Secretary for Utilities Committee. She's been home for the last couple of weeks battling some kind of little bug there, so hope she gets better. We're going to pass on item number 4, approval of the minutes. Go to item number 5, sewer presentation by President Martinez and myself. Okay. We want to thank our representatives from DEQ here, Secretary Hatch, Dr. Ping. We've got some good news from what I understand. So without further ado, if y'all want to get up and let us know what's going on, we'd appreciate it.
Well, good evening, everybody. In a lot of ways, I feel like John the Baptist. I'm here only to recognize and introduce my boss, who shall come and make really the remarks that count. But she's given me a special assignment, so I'll make sure that, Madam Secretary, I'll fulfill that assignment. And that assignment is really to offer a few comments that have really brought us to this place and touch base on the next steps. And today is really a great day for one primary reason. It's been 3 years in the making, and it's because of a great collaborative effort. And for the collaboration, I would be remiss if I don't start with your parish president, the CEO of Ascension Parish, the Honorable Tommy Martinez. Mr. President, I want to say that your advocacy for Ascension Parish, your diligence, to some degree, some may say very aggressive, but fully understandable because you do it on behalf of your parish. The pleasure I've had working with you for 3 years. They've been very tough years as we worked through a number of items, but they've brought us here today. And the recognition also, and one thing that stands out with President Martinez, every time I've sat down with him, is his inclusive philosophy. On this project, he never fails to mention the work of the council. Benny Johnson, Chairman of the Utilities Committee, all the members of the Utilities Committee, Chairman Chris Lohr with the council. Again, your president always reminds me that today would not have been possible without that collaboration, and that was really manifested when that resolution was passed as part of the pre-application submission, where every single member was in full support of this. And the biggest piece is in the times when you look at raising fees and taxes, always such a burden on the residents of our state, this parish found the fortitude, found the budget from within in order to make and request this loan on behalf of water sewer infrastructure. And for us, that was a very big deal, and I know the residents of this parish appreciate that. Path forward. Today is a cautionary note. The purpose of today is really saying that we have provided preliminary approval to that $60 million request for wastewater upgrades, and it's in the collection system lines. What that means, and the reason it's a preliminary approval, because now we really get to the real work, where your engineers, your financial folks get to work with my engineers on the environmental side, on the engineering side, and on the financial side. It's a process that typically takes anywhere up to 12 months to get to the next milestone, which really is the big deal, and that will be the loan closing phase. And President Martinez has assured me, and I sense that passion and aggression that he's demonstrating. 12 months is the rule of thumb. President Martinez assures me that he will push everybody on his side of the equation to to make sure that everything is in place, that we can close on the loan in less than 12 months. And that's the time when the secretary and I will be back, and the secretary gets to present what we call our big symbolic check. But really behind that closing is the fact that we would actually have signed on the dotted line that Ascension Parish in 12 months or less will have access to those $60 million to start, as the proverbial term goes, turning dirt, starting the actual construction phase. So again, cautionary note, today is preliminary approval. I want to make sure that we don't get overly excited because the real work begins. And the next milestone, again, would be the loan closing phase. I'll close by saying that in addition to President Martinez, Ken Dawson, I want to pull this young man out. I've known Ken for quite a while, but in his capacity as the Chief Administrative Officer, I will say this: I have not met a gentleman that really understands the vision of the CEO, the vision of the council, and works diligently with me. I've had Ken call me late at night, Alex, want to double check, is this right, is this wrong, do we need to fix this? And every time I've returned the document back, I say, Ken, let's work on this. Never ever have I sensed any issues beyond, Alex, I want to get this done. So Ken Dawson, I want to recognize you. We've had great working experience in Ascension Parish, your DA, Ricky Babin, Sheriff Wiley, in other capacities in which DEQ operates. Great working relationship, great collaboration, Mr. President. Thoroughly excited, but also cautiously understand that this is the beginning of the future. And President Martinez assures me right after the first of the year, we'll get together, and that's more of his staff and my staff, to put together a timeline. It's a document that will show that we are both accountable to each other. And that timeline will spell out the specific milestones, when all the engineering work will be completed and submitted, when all the financial documents and all the environmental reviews will be presented to DEQ. DEQ will approve those and get us to the next milestone, which will be the loan closing phase. So that's what I'm excited about, Mr. President. It kind of binds us both, and it holds both of us accountable before not only my boss, but for you, before the residents of Ascension Parish. Having said that, like I said, I feel like John the Baptist. I've executed my charge that my boss has placed before me. As I bring it forward, Secretary Hatch, and I'll say this, I'm one of these that I believe that you brag on folks who deserve bragging on. Best boss I've ever had, and I say that on the record. I've had a number of bosses, but she's the kind that she understands the mission, but the best part about it, she turns me loose and allows me to do my job. And it's not often where you have a boss who gives you that complete trust, and she always, of course, says, Alex, don't screw it up. So on that note, my boss, the Honorable Secretary Peggy Hatch. Let's give her a round of applause, guys.
Thank you, Alex, as usual. I'll be very short and sweet. It's a great honor to work with both the Parish Council and the Parish President. This is a great first step, as Alex said. As the carpenters say, we've only just begun, because this is the beginning of a long process to get the wastewater treatment collection system in line. It will both help the economic development of the parish and the environmental protection. So we do appreciate all the work, and I know it's been hard and long, and there's a lot more work to be done. I do want to compliment Alex's staff, Bijan, Sheriff Connie, and who's the administrator over this group, and he has a very small staff who work very hard to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because we do have to answer to EPA for all of these projects that we oversee. So and they do a great job. They get great audit reports, so that I'm very proud of them. So with that, thank you for allowing us to come, and we look forward to coming back with the big check. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Hatch and Alex. If you'd indulge me for just a couple of minutes, about a little over a year and a half ago, we started this endeavor as this group of council and committee and administration, and it's been teamwork from the word go. Thank Parish President Martinez for entrusting in us as Utilities Committee, myself, along with Mr. Dawson, to run with this issue and do some legwork. Also, the team that we've established in last year with MWH and GSA as a team, and this year with GSA and the folks that they put together. It's got us to this point, but most importantly to the administrative staff, Chairman Lohr the members of this committee that you see here, as well as Councilman Turner, who's not here with us tonight, and the entire council. As what was alluded to from Alex earlier, we've got a unanimous second and on the motion to dedicate the funding to the debt service on this loan. I don't know if that's ever happened before in the parish. If it has, it's been a long time, and I certainly appreciate the help on my fellow council members' part to make that happen, to show the new partnership, the new phase of partnership that we've got with DEQ going to make this happen, and holding our hand and walking us through the process and making this offer to us at the beginning. We have a vision. I think it's something that's achievable. I think it's something that's not going to be easy. It is going to be hard work. It is going to be something that we all have to pitch in and help out with. But I think being around here as long as I have, the citizens of this parish in history have taken up causes such as this, whether it be mental health, library, fire service, and it can go on, and dedicated resources to solving an issue. Just have to find out what that issue is and educate ourselves and the public on where we are with it and why we need to get to where we need to go. As was alluded to, this is just the beginning of a major step that is going to be a lifelong endeavor into the no end term future for not only for us but for this parish. And I can't help believe, but it's a step in the right direction, and it gets us down a path where we really and truly need to be, not only for ourselves but for the future generations of this parish from an environmental standpoint of view. So personally, I want to thank everybody here tonight and for your help, and look forward to continuing to work with you in the future, because like we said, this is the beginning of this process. So with that, we'll turn it over to President Martinez.
Well, Benny, I want to thank you, and of course this committee has worked very hard. They've gone out on field trips, looked at different systems, and you know, but it wouldn't have ever happened had we not went to a meeting at Lamar Dixon one fateful night, and Alex said, well, how much would it take to do that phase one? And we said about $60 million. He said, well, what if I could maybe talk and maybe we could work out something? And you think you could work with me on that? And I said, Alex, you go tell me I have an opportunity to get $60 million. And I said, we'll make it work. As a team, we will do it. And again, it happened. And the good thing about this project is it's the beginning. It's in our most heavily populated area. We understand that the whole goal of this is to have parish-wide sewer, and it makes everybody's job a lot easier. But we have to start somewhere, and this is a project, I can assure you, that when I first became parish president, one of my goals, this was in 1994, was to provide sewer to the citizens of Ascension Parish. And we've been working on it ever since and trying to come up with some sort of formula, and worked with 2 different councils. This is the 3rd council, or 4th council actually, that I work with on it. And you know, you guys have been so professional about it and working with it. And again, without such a great DEQ department, and I mean that sincerely, they work very, very hard as a team too. Cheryl Nolan is a citizen here. We have several people that actually work for DEQ but reside in Ascension Parish. So they're pulling for us too. But with anything like this, the magnitude of this project, you can go get the money, but you got to be able to pay it back. And that's the wonderful thing about this. We're using surplus monies to do so. We haven't raised anybody's taxes. And we can go ahead and build a system without having to worry about picking up customers along the way at first. So, you know, it's going to be a great project. It's going to be what I think is going to bring Ascension Parish into compliance here, hopefully. And we have several smaller people that operate systems here. We want to work with them and get through this process and work with them as a team. And hopefully, in the end, we can accomplish the goal of providing the service to all the citizens here. But again, I just want to thank all of you guys, and I certainly, again, Alex, You've been very instrumental in this. You've done such an excellent job, and you should give him a raise, Secretary Hatch. I don't know if that's possible, but you know, he has worked hard, as has all your staff. So again, I want to give you kudos, and next governor's race, I'll write y'all both a recommendation. And so anyway, but I appreciate everything that you and your department has done, and it's been a pleasure working with you. Sometimes, you know, you go to certain agencies and it's kind of like you met with a stiff collar, but just as what you saw tonight is the way when you go to DEQ that you're treated. And again, a lot of people have been scared to go and meet with DEQ and this and that, but I can assure you it's been nothing but a pleasure to work with you guys, and we appreciate it again. And we appreciate and look forward to working with you. And Alex, I can assure you, my goal is 10 months. So when you said you wanted to get with us and work with us, it's going to be like a good marriage, because we're going to stay very, very close the 10 months. We're going to keep the honeymoon going. So, okay? Thank you. And again, thank all of you. And Peggy, please pass that on to the rest of your staff.
Mr. Kluat?
Yeah, once more, I mean, with all the accolades, but seriously, we really want to thank the DEQ very much. You guys, I know that you hear it and other state agencies hear about it, you know, that, you know, what are you doing for the local people and all. It's not like y'all up in D.C. or somewhere. You're right there in Baton Rouge. And I alluded to Alex the other day that, you know, us as elected officials, and we see good people, good professionals working that have their heart and their souls into what they do, and they're very devoted, that when political regimes change, then the people are changed out, and we'd hope that the good people survive. And you guys are working hard, and I don't see anything political about you at this point, and we appreciate the heck out of it. The parish administration, Tommy, Ken Dawson, all the staff, the engineering staff, Martinez, everybody. I know y'all done a lot of work behind the scenes, and you know, this, you know, we sit in meetings and we make special meetings and we make special trips, and you know, and we've got good leadership like Benny, but there's a lot of work goes into every paragraph of any agreement like this, and we haven't lost focus. This council hasn't lost focus, and this administration hasn't lost focus of the goal. The goal is to get the sewer out the ditch, get it out the canals. Let's clean the parish up. It just so happens in Ascension Parish on the East Bank that our metropolitan area outside of the cities is heavily populated on the north end. So from being from the southeastern end, I'm going to appreciate taking some of the sewer out the ditches and out the canals before it gets to us down there. And we'll continue to work at that and clean up the parish. And no matter what the laws are, the attainments are, whatever goals we got to hit, we're cleaning up. We maybe one day can reach the point where, you know, I can go back and swim in those bayous that I used to swim in when I was little. But seriously, this is a big step. Tommy, I really appreciate digging in the budget. And you know, a lot of people don't understand how it is, but when we dig in the budget, we keep digging, and you only get so much money to go around, and you try to find something. And working out to where we can fund this opportunity and set aside some monies on an annual basis to keep this going. This is just the first step. We got a lot of years to go, and you know, several people behind us will finish it out. So we got to set the path. That's what Benny, I'm gonna quote Benny a couple years ago. One of Benny's favorite sayings is, I want to put something in place that nobody can come behind us and I mean, you mess up, okay? So you put it in place, get it going, put a path, write it down, and have some rules and regulations behind it, and just keep moving forward, no matter who changes, whether it's on the council or in the administration or on the state level. Anyway, once again, thank y'all very much. Benny, thank you very much for staying in there and hanging in diligently.
Thank you, appreciate it. Councilman Sadler.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to begin with that. We've thanked a lot of people here tonight, and as a member of this committee, I would like to particularly thank Benny Johnson, our leadership. I think he's really served a real good role in being a go-between. There were various ways that we don't need to rehash and maybe trying to fund this to begin with, but I was very pleased that he was able to listen throughout, as well as the parish president. And while I wasn't there at that fateful meeting, Mr. President, and Lamar Dixon, where you mentioned Dr. Alex said, what can we do to make it work? I sure am glad fate had it that you guys met. This is a program that it's been a pet project of mine, and I'm glad that if you took the third council, it's been a goal since Mr. President 1994 to get it done. As I say, so many people say, better late than never. I really look forward to doing this and working very closely with this committee in the future. In fact, I think one example of my dedication, and Mr. Dawson can probably attest to this, one of the early on field trips that the president mentioned to see these different sewer plants, and we've been to many, I don't know guys, maybe 4 or 5 in two different states and so forth. I've got a chocolate Labrador that knocked me down coming out of my house at about 4:30 in the morning, and I'm in a pier home, and I fell into the garden and laid there for a while wondering, I probably shouldn't go on this field trip. As it worked out, I think I had a cracked rib, but I went anyway, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back because that's what everybody in this committee did. A lot of personal sacrifice, a lot of discussion, a lot of argument, and that's good, and I think it was healthy, and here we are today. I congratulate the efforts of all the people, the DEQ, the administration, Ken, your group, all this committee, leadership of Mr. Benny Johnson, and the rest of my colleagues. Travis Turner's not here tonight. He made a lot of those trips, worked hard. I know you did, Randy, and OJ. I appreciate you guys. And I thank you, and again, I look forward to continuing to work this out. And I want to emphasize something else. A couple people said it's the beginning. I sure hope so. Obviously, my area is going to be served first, and that's not a quick comment about that, anything that I particularly did. It's the densest area in the parish, so it makes sense to do that. It also fits well with the idea that when the state widened 73, we put our pipes in the ground, and that the project's being let on 42. The same thing's going to happen. So it's going to happen up in the Prairieville area for the District 4 folks and others that are looking tonight. Happy for that and looking forward to it being just the beginning so that we can go beyond crawling and we can walk and run and bring parish-wide, the dream all along, sewer to the entire parish, in which case, Dr. A, maybe we'll be talking to you again for another, I'm going to call this a brother-in-law loan, because it's sure the interest rate is right and the amount of money is right, I think, to get a valid start, and maybe we can find a few dollars in the future and go further. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman Sally. Councilman Joseph?
Hey, thanks, Chairman. I just want to say thank you to everybody, administration, DEQ, this committee, the council, and most of the community being patient with us. I mean, we went through, like Doc just said, and the community been patient with us, and we worked out, I think, one of the best deals since I've been sitting here on the council for the last 8 years. So once again, I just want to commend everybody for this and just let the community know this is one of the best deals they're going to see for a long, long time. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilman Lohr?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, would be remiss if I didn't thank DEQ for their efforts in getting us to this point. I appreciate the hard work there and the collaboration. It's a great example of working with between the parish and the state level. Mr. President, as you said, I know you've been working on this for a long time as well, so I appreciate your diligence and perseverance in getting us here. Ken, certainly appreciate, since you've been on board, this has been a big area of focus for you. And Mr. Johnson, I just got to say, no one knows how much effort, you've put into this, except for perhaps some of us on the council, and I know you've certainly been passionate about it, and I just wanted to say congratulations. This is a great job to get us to this point, and I really appreciate that. I know Dr. Peening said not to get too excited, but it's hard not to. Every journey starts with the first step, and the first step is always the hardest. And so this is a great first step, and I appreciate everyone's efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Without further ado, I think we've got some presentations, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. And I ask the committee to join me, please, and Mr. Dawson, because he has worked very diligently with y'all and done an excellent job.
All right, this is a certificate of appreciation to recognize and thank Deputy Secretary Vladimir Alexander Apining for his efforts and professional assistance in helping the residents of Ascension Parish. Whereas for more than a decade, Ascension Parish has experienced phenomenal growth and has been recognized several times as the fastest growing parish in Louisiana. And whereas with the phenomenal growth comes phenomenal infrastructure needs that require careful and diligent planning. And whereas formerly known as a rural parish with abundant natural resources that include many freshwater streams, recent water tests in Ascension Parish have shown the imperative need for improved water quality. And whereas with the help and guidance of Deputy Secretary Apining and the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, efforts are underway to restore our streams, bayous, and waterways to their natural condition so that future generations can enjoy the beauty that is known as Ascension Parish. And whereas the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality has committed a $60 million loan from the Clean Water Revolving Fund for wastewater improvements in Ascension Parish that benefits both environmental protection and economic development. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by virtue of the authority vested in him, does hereunto recognize and thank Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality Deputy Secretary Vladimir Alexander Apining for your exemplary leadership, far-reaching vision, and valuable assistance to the residents of Ascension Parish in the area of economic development and environmental protection. Dr. Apining, thank you.
Not on the honeymoon yet.
Come on, you gotta take a picture now.
You're gonna get a bigger hug when we see that real check.
There you go.
Secretary Hatch, if you would come forward, please. Yes. This certificate of appreciation recognizes and thanks Secretary Peggy Hatch for her efforts and professional assistance in helping with the residents of Ascension Parish. Same thing for Alex. I'm going to cut it a little bit short and read down to the bottom, but now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by virtue of the authority vested in him, do hereunto recognize and thank Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality Secretary Peggy Hatch for your exemplary leadership, far-reaching vision, and valuable assistance to the residents of Ascension Parish in the area of economic development and environmental protection. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Do I get to hug everybody?
That's right. That's part of the requirement. Alex taught us all. That's
Okay. Okay, thank y'all so much.
I hope I see it on your wall. I'm gonna ask Alex, come with yours and we'll take a group picture.
There we go.
We love to hug and we love to take pictures.
Y'all start kissing Alex. very nice. Yes, I will put it on my wall.
I'll say looking for it.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
As everyone said earlier, we alluded to him, but a key part of this team that we definitely wouldn't be as far as long as where we are is kind of we developed this codependent relationship, I guess, if you want to call it that. We're trying to feed off of this system and trying to get this thing moving. Is Mr. Ken Dawson. Ken, you want to say a couple words?
Just very briefly. First, I want to thank President Martinez for hiring me on with this administration. It's been a pleasure. Been a lot of work, but it's been a pleasure. You did. I get paid for work. Exactly right. But it's been an opportunity that I gladly accept, and I've enjoyed every part of it. And working with the Utility Committee has been wonderful. The trips that we made, the systems that we looked at, the questions that were asked. And Benny, I mean, we talk all the time. I mean, sometimes driving home late at night, I get a call from Benny, or I call him. And we're always discussing how we can satisfy, waste treatment in Ascension Parish for the residents here. And I must say that DEQ has been just wonderful. I mean, even before we got into discussions about the SRF funding, their staff was just willing and ready to help us with anything. I mean, I think it's Jonathan McFarland that works for DEQ always met with us with our technical question. He helped us. I mean, if there was a meeting that needed to be hosted between us and DHH, he fostered the meeting, he hosted the meeting. They even came over to the office in the conference room, met with us and spoke with us. So with that kind of assistance, I mean, we're looking for success. We have a 10-month goal to get this stuff done, and we will be working at that. And these gentlemen sitting behind me here kind of already got that task. And Tommy said he's watching, so we're going to get it done. But all these gentlemen are committed, Mr. Petty, Mr. Martinez, and Mr. Taylor. They're all committed to get it done. So again, this is a wonderful time. I enjoy the opportunity, and I appreciate the confidence that has been placed in me by Parish President and his council, Chris, as chairman. And again, we're looking forward. Dr. Peening already said that right after this meeting, we want to start working on a timeline, and we will be at DEQ office next week working on our timeline to get this done. So again, wonderful day. Thank you, DEQ, Secretary Hatch, Dr. Penny. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Ken, I'm going to make you knight. Parish President, 10 months is a good goal. I like that. 8 would be better, but I can live with 10. So, that's right. Well, it's one of those things. We've been going at it this long. 10 months is definitely not that long a period of time. But me and Ken, like he said, we talk all the time, and we always are trying to find ways to crunch timelines and move progress forward. So the one thing about this is over the couple of years we've been dealing with this. We know when we've got momentum going our way, we want to keep it moving. And so the more we can keep that momentum going, the more we want to do that. But we want to make sure that the people of the parish know that our goal is not just to get this done, it is to get it done right. Okay, something that we can all be proud of for the future, to make sure that we watch all our pennies and dimes and nickels and those type of things, but also to make sure that from an engineering standpoint of view, the decisions that we make are the best decisions for not only today, but for into the future as much as possible. As much as we can effectively manage this to make you proud of not only the parish that you live in, but us as a group of people that you elected to put up here to make sure that this system is done correctly. And that's the one thing about it that hopefully we projected throughout these last couple of years, that it's not about just getting this done, it's about getting it done right. Okay? And so you have my word that we are going to work in that effort to make sure that we do it that way. I'm sure Parish President Martinez, as the rest of the members of the council agree to that's ultimately our goal. It's not about just getting this thing done so we can put a feather in our cap saying we got it done. It's about making sure that we can do it and we can do it right. To be like Randy alluded to earlier, the statement is that we want to make this, put it on a firmer foundation as we possibly can to where it cannot be messed up later on. And that's not a tribute to me or anybody up here. It's just a tribute to the people that we represent. And so with that, we'll move on to item number 6.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Clue. I second by Councilman Sadler. We are adjourned.